Tomorrow's the 4th of July. And being from Puerto Rico, we have or at least I definitely have a relationship with that date. But unfortunately, 9 years ago, I lost my only aunt on the 4th of July. So on my way here, I was talking to my mother, and she said, I talk to her every Sunday, and she goes, "Don't forget to call me tomorrow. It's a sad day. I need to hear your voice." So the 4th of July definitely has changed meaning for me for the last 9 years. And I wrote my aunt an elegy, and I think it's appropriate to read it tonight for her. It's called Diana's Elegy. Thank you. Diana's Elegy for Diana Garcia. I never wanted to write you this kind of poem. I hope to write you an ode, praising the taste of your rellenos de papa that no one else can make without them crumbling into hands like chalk, or the way strangers confuse us for mother and daughter in the summertime. In your eyes, I was always the precocious toddler, raising the volume of your stereo as you practiced shorthand for the next secretary exam. The result of baby babble, Tatan, was your name instead of Tia or Titi, an only child with only one Tatan, who cursed best in limited English. You taught me the best way to serve a volleyball, exchange off-color Spanish jokes like a teenager, yelled my name across bodega aisles. I missed the last decade of your life not knowing it would be the last, and funeral collages become memories I had forgotten. I never wanted to write you this kind of poem. I thought I would have more time to write you an ode. So the last couple of weeks have been definitely anger-filled for many of us. These are my angry poems. Let's go, that's right. Let's go. My 13-year-old says that, by the way. Anyway, he said, let's go. So these are my response poems to SCOTUS's ruling. A letter to Gus, the judgmental CVS clerk. Dear Gus, I didn't need the extra look of judgment or the 5-page receipt when I bought my Plan B pill. Yes, I had sex. No, I didn't use a condom. Yes, I enjoyed it. And yes, Gus, I will do it again and again and again. I don't think male customers get the same discernment when they buy the industrial pack of Trojans, extra thin and lubricated for her pleasure. I am tired of my body being examined and decided upon by men who couldn't find a clitoris even if Alexa, Siri, and Google joined forces in some GPS version of Voltron. So save your visual admonishments, for I am not your Latin Mary Magdalene, although I'm sure I did shout out God's name more than once. You will not side-eye me for fulfilling my sexual desires, expressing my sensuality, savoring the taste of a man's touch, satisfying my fantasies one orgasm at a time, loving my body under my own terms, sincerely an unapologetic woman. The titles get really long when I'm pissed off. You can tell. A poem for the man who asked me, "Where are your motherhood poems?" Yeah, true story. He didn't have the predictable inquiries, do I write in Spanish more than English? Do I italicize the Spanish words? Or include a translation glossary at the back of the book? With an accusatory tone like a private investigator out to solve the case of the missing poems, as if I purposely erased my kids' existence and memories in some poetic version of witness protection. Should I write more about the irony of never wanting to be a mother in the first place? While other girls talked about having babies and a husband after college, I spoke about wanting 80-hour work weeks, burying myself in depositions. Should I write more about the abortion I had at 22, find the appropriate simile for the feel of the vacuum in my cervix? How I made my future husband witness and hold my hand while I sobbed on the exam table, legs wide open, reminding me how I got there in the first place. I think about the women who cannot have children, the price tag of IVF, the bureaucracy of adoption, the women who still have to prove to their tias, mothers, sisters, other women that their worth isn't in the uterus. Because my body's sole purpose is to be a vessel of life and not sexual satisfaction, never contemplating the perfect metaphor for the best orgasm I ever had. I should be careful of slut-shaming myself in my sonnets when I say fucking versus making love, pussy versus vagina, dick versus manhood. So where are the motherhood poems in question? They are embedded here in the pores and cells of this poem that cannot wait to breathe. Two of the designs caught my eye as I was walking in, and I said, damn it, I didn't want to buy anything today, damn it. I know I'm going to, I already talked to her. I already figured out my ring size, she's right there. So, and I told her, I actually have a poem about rings. After my divorce, I don't wear a ring in my ring finger anymore. So this is my way of processing that. It's called La Coqueta, with an epigraph. From the word coquette, a woman who flirts lightheartedly with men to win their admiration and affection. From the Spanish word, a dressing table, a vanity. Nestled in a red chestnut box, rain droplets carved out, so its contents can breathe, my wedding ring resides. I hold it in my palm like I did our children's feet, examining their diminutive size, knowing they wouldn't fit there one day. Today, the surface of my dresser, coqueta, as my abuela calls it, is covered in rings I have bought since I took off the gold promise of a 24-year-old, etched with a heart and initials. Rings from flea markets in New Orleans, wooden ones wielded from the oak bark of another man's house, copper ones with the petroglyph of El Coqui burned on ostentatious rings that glitter and shine in the sun and moonlight. Nordstrom rack bargains that cover two of my fingers, knuckle busters my coworker calls them. Always on my right hand, anything on the left feels clumsy like first dates. I collect rings like paramours and dalliances, pull them off my fingers and leave them on my coqueta. My hands are mine now.